first started, and I'm sure it still happens now, is it was Beck Madden's first show, and even I watched. I was like, how is this going to go? And the feedback that I was speaking to my partner Sam, and I was looking through Beck's photos and the footy show's photos, and just the comments under from guys and girls.
Yeah.
Sometimes when I look at the comments, I'm like, there's a female's name next to that revolting comment.
I know. It is horrendous, and that's I've had to really learn to become very resilient to that kind of stuff because people think you're on TV and they think they almost think that you don't have emotion and you don't feel, and it's like, you know what? I think that I'm strong and I'm tough, but I'll tell you what, I'm also a woman and I also get my feelings hurt. Yeah. And I also read something that makes me feel sick to my stomach. Yeah. And I can go through days where I wake up and I feel like I'm not good enough, and that, I feel insecure, I feel anxious, I feel all these things, and I just think, I don't normally reply to things because I'm very, you just can't. You can't win, and it's just, there's too many of them, to be honest. But sometimes I'll see someone and I'll click on them and I'll look and I'll see, they might have a profile picture with a daughter, or they might be there with their girlfriend. And I won't do it publicly because I'm not into shaming people, but a couple of weeks ago I sent this bloke a message. He'd written something, "You vile, horrible woman, go die. You are the most ugly, disgusting piece of shit I've ever seen. I hope you die." I don't know why I'm getting emotional because it actually didn't really bother me that much at the time, but I read it and I looked and I saw that he had a daughter in his phone. I just sent him a message. I said, "John," don't know if his name was John, "I saw your comment on my Instagram. First of all, that's your opinion. You're very much entitled to it, but I'd really appreciate next time if you could maybe just say it to your friend and not write it on my post. Right. My family see that." And I said, "Secondly, I see you've got a little girl. She's absolutely beautiful. Imagine if someone on the street said to her that she was ugly and vile and you hope she died." I said, "I'm someone's daughter." Yeah. And I said that really, it could hurt someone that might not be as strong as me and might, take it to heart and really have impact on them,
Totally.
Anyway, he never wrote back, never did anything, but I thought even, if that just made him think that actually it might be funny to him, or he's there with his mates and they think, "Oh, she's a knob," or "She's a mole," let's, but it can really, I've learnt to become really resilient to it, but I know there are people out there who read that stuff, and we've seen examples, people like Charlotte Dawson, who was very public about being really affected by it. And I think actually, every 12-year-old girl who reads that on my Instagram, people call me fat sometimes, people talk about how I look, and I think they're reading that thinking, "Oh, well, if she's fat, this man thinks she's fat,
it's
I
so
must
dangerous.
be fat, I'm 12, I'm not strong enough or old enough or mature enough to realise that he's just a fucking loser who's got nothing better to do. So I'm going to now start dieting and be conscious of my weight," and and it's like
the ripple-on effect of a comment can be really damaging.
And I'm so passionate about people feeling good about themselves because we're in a world that's constantly trying to make us not feel good about themselves, that I feel almost sometimes it's my duty to call people out on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's unnecessary, and I'm lucky in that I was gradual on the footy show. I started doing a 5-minute injury segment. Then the next year I was on the panel full time, but just off to the side and just had a little bit role before I was made host. So it wasn't as intense as Beck's would have been, but there's nothing you could say to me now that would I haven't heard before, or, it was horrendous at the start. It's much better now. I don't ever look at the photos on the comments on the footy show or the Instagram because I know they'd just be vile. My family used to have a look.
It's not okay.
It's not. I'd love to be able to go and get feedback on, if people insulted my journalism or said, "What you said about that player, bullshit," I'd be like, "Oh my God, hallelujah, bring it on." Or debate me about my hosting style. Or if you say, I don't like how you do this, or you do this, or, in terms of some fucking substance, insult my substance, like what I say. Or if you say, "You don't articulate that word well," I'd be like, "Brilliant." Mum sometimes says, "You forgot your middle T in 20. When you say 20, sometimes I'm like 20. And I'm like, "Oh, that's great feedback." Like, give me feedback on what I say and what I, do. Don't fucking comment on my dress, on my hair, on my makeup, on my looks, on my aesthetic.
It's just
that's
exhausting.
what's frustrating for me.
Absolutely.
It's frustrating.
And you would have had to do a lot of work just to put it into a place.
I used to ring up Mum and Dad, and I'd be, after a show, I would feel physically ill going through Twitter and Instagram. And and I remember Dad saying to me, "If you're going to get this affected," because he said this is not healthy, "if you're going to get this affected by it," and I'd never show anyone at work. No one at work ever knew that he said, "You're in the wrong industry." And I was like, "You know what, you're right." And as long as the people who love me, know me and respect me, and, my bosses know who I am and respect me, they pay my wage, so that's really important.
Yeah.
And, and the people I care about know and respect me, then that's enough for me.
Yeah.